Greetings, viewers, audience, and people who like listening to people talk about random stuff. This is no random journal. This is a investigation on love, which is part of the Personal Life Project. I've developed a plan. I've been journaling for a long time, and this is my product. I have a collection or a series based on love, and it is a fiction or fact, whichever you prefer. So here are some of the questions that I've been investigating. Is self-gratification the route to building the foundations of lasting relationships? They say you cannot love another before you have learnt to love yourself. I guess a lot of people suffer depression in their lifetime. Would this have anything to do with our failing ability to see what is before us and what we have to be grateful for? There are hundreds of thousands of articles on the internet that can claim to offer sound advice to our guide and to our truest and most ultimate state of being. They want us to be happy and successful and have exciting love lives and all-round health and wealth. Real life is far from this. It is the fact that human beings are not invincible. We do deteriorate, we malfunction, we become fatigued, and we make poor decisions. How can these possibly stem from love if we are clear in how we manage ourselves in the first place? Is pain the essence of love? Can we revive what we once loved and lost? Is it love that drives us each day? And is there enough love to go around? Or is love a mere describing word to explain one's emotions towards another human or an object of admiration? Oh, I love this music! I love sport! I love new technology! There are different kinds of love too. I have scoured the universe only to leave myself with some very abstract evidence. It is ever more imposing how the triumph or the demise of my project will make or break me personally and my life in the future forever. Everything I have looked at with careful study, attempting to appreciate the wondrous diversity of life, and how everything and everyone is of value and deserving of love. A great deal of energy has gone into being judgmental and mentally scaremongering myself into a draft of positive energy. Maybe love and hate. Maybe love is hate, in a lighter perspective, whereas hate on the opposite side is dark and scheming for detached purposes as a technique of getting what one wants to experience. It's a double-ended sword. I don't like to play with knives. With my outlook of love changing day by day, there is never a dull moment in the front of my mind whereby I cannot help myself but examine all the examples of love that I am supposed to follow. This path of resistance and challenging what is before me has proven useful in building my independence and self-respect. And if love comes from the self and not an outside perpetrator, one who simply means to use another person for personal gain, as opposed to making that person fulfilled, content and valued. There are dozens more, equally convincing articles on the web that propose love as a facade, that sex is really what drives us, and we are shallow animals anyway, with the media pouring out onto our screens and into our hearts these over-dramatised and stigmatised ideals of love. How we should act and talk towards each other as a way of connecting and developing ourselves with each other's best interests at heart. All my life has been a project, and so is our love for others. Relationships take energy, input to get recognition from both parties. And sometimes I doubt their validity due to the technical world we now live in. It is like a competition and consequently a parade of the battle of the sexes. Nonetheless, if love was mainly a mechanism of survival because of how we're designed, we begin to tap into our purpose for existence altogether. The Bible, for example, says we should find a mate and produce a family. If that is our principle in life, then it would require other strategies to create a functional but flourishing family life built on love, trust and commitment. Both human adults would require an income to financially provide for the duration the children need sustaining before they could live independently, by which time, what keeps two parents together during this time? I think it might be the mutual desire to. Nothing less, nothing more. In another life, my finalisation is that there is no love, only words to get what you want. If one wants to have sexual relations with a person of their sexual desire, then they will use language to determine the security that they will obtain that outcome. Maybe love is just sex, and we can mimic the chemical reactions of sex in other ways, such as sharing a meal, smoking, and then maybe that is why people turn to alcohol and substance abuse, because there comes a point where you are in love, but the feeling of being in love dies out, and it will leave a flame burning. Call it love. Then you have to consider a natural human response is going to be, I want that back. I want to feel this euphoric again, and therefore may seek alternative outlets for that rush. Is love something you can experience with the five senses? Is it in the food we eat that spikes our blood sugar levels or breaking a sweat at the gym? Is it being absorbed in nature to feel completely lost but free at the same time? That mental freedom provides a utopia for our minds. Is that a manifestation of love? Are the friends we find, the people we choose to take us on their life journey, is that love? Where is our ambition born from? Is it born of passion? Is it pure passion for something, or another goal at the end of the long plight? Why does anyone do anything for themselves? Is it to be happy? The only reason to live? And if some people need others to be happy and discover themselves on a lonely road, is that the lack of love or the consequences of poor decision making? An orgasm is a temporary feeling. However, it is like a drug in its own natural right. If we weren't supposed to make love by the pleasure centres of sex, then why would we lust and crave those tendencies to be more drawn to sexually compatible mates? Or are our decisions to become involved with someone based on logic and reasoning, imagining the lifestyle that would be achieved from teaming up with a long-term partner? What the benefits of being in love with someone is? Or is it purely a state of infatuation, the apple of one's eye, the favouritism argument? There you have an introduction to the insights of romantic love. Another way of looking at love is the family bonds and friendships with persistence and wanting to nourish those relationships during our lifetimes. When we are born, generally speaking, we have a mother and father, and this is our first basic model of working, loving relationship, or so it should be. This poses the question that may this be the reason why there are so many mental and emotional issues that occur later in life when these original standards of functioning relationships collapse? They are no longer a legitimately reliable basis of what love is. So we age and we seek our own interpretations of love amongst the confusion of all the bias and contrasting views of individuals and the mass media alike. Psychologists and philosophers have debated this for centuries. I think love feels like standing on a cloud. Maybe it's heaven. Who is to say that heaven and hell cannot be places on earth? Love is the truth. Love is family. Blood is thicker than water. Love is when you wake up in the morning and people come to mind. When you forgive and understand and consider other people's feelings. Love is selflessness, open-mindedness, and graciousness.